Welcome. We're back. Another day for the market. Pretty much a full day of reacting to the Fed's announcement from yesterday. We only had a couple hours after the meeting yesterday to see the price action. Today we also got another mixed market. I mean, we had the Nasdaq up almost 1%, got really close to new all-time highs today. We had the S&P pretty much flat. Then we had the Russell down 1%. You know, very mixed market. We go over and take a look at the ARK. That was up 3.5% today. The ARK had one of its best days in a while. The ARKK innovation ETF, like, pretty interesting day if you look at the indices, look at the VIX as well. Relatively flat, but you still have that classic bullish divergence. While people are hopping in the stream, we're gonna just look at Bitcoin for a couple minutes here. Also, this one's just kind of mixed at this price point. That hidden bullish divergence is still possible. That wedge that I talked about over the weekend, or I talked about last week, I think, it could be back testing that soon. Three rising valleys is possible. You know, there's so many different potential scenarios for both the crypto market and the stock market in the next few days. It's just really hard to get a good technical reading, and I think that just comes, you know, with the psychology of technicals. You know, you're just visualizing the psychology of other traders when you're reading patterns and divergence and other indicators that I use. And right now I just think a lot of people are confused, which is why we're not seeing clear technicals and why we really haven't been seeing clear technicals all week. You know, looking at the crypto trades, the FIL trade is flat, the band trade is also up a little bit, the Tesla's trade's up a little bit, the link trade is flat. So, you know, a lot of the crypto trades are pretty flat. There's really no technical changes on them, just a little bit of a pullback. Looking at futures for stocks, they're up, not up that much. And then going into tomorrow, we have quadruple witching, major expiration day for a bunch of different securities across futures, across stocks, a bunch of different things. So going to be a pretty interesting day tomorrow. I don't know the actual statistics of how quadruple witching days go. But we'll see what happens. You know, you're gonna have a lot of people confused about what to do if they have call options, if they have puts. Same thing for hedge funds. They're gonna be probably reorganizing a lot of their positions that expire tomorrow, a lot of their options that expire tomorrow, whether that be just trading the actual contracts or, you know, converting if they're in the money, converting to shares. Like, so many different potential scenarios, and you're also lining that up with a pretty interesting looking overall market, which we're about to look at. We're gonna look at the indices right now. Technicals in the Wall Street Bets world is tough. I would disagree with that. I think a lot of the Wall Street Bet stocks have, you know, had a lot of technicals that have played out. You know, we talked about GameStop and AMC and how a lot of the moves on both of those names were very technical in all the situations. I'm not going to do it again. Maybe we could look at it later if you remind me, but a lot of the moves on really most tradable assets do get affected by technicals. You know, technicals are for sure not the reason why a lot of these stocks have gone up 500%, but those shorter pivots and, you know, a lot of the highs and the lows are determined by technicals, how long it takes to get to certain levels, and just like the price action after the buys come in because of a catalyst. But, you know, just looking at the AMC chart and the GameStop chart, I can't count how many times they've shown technical setups that have played out throughout the course of this year. Obviously they were exaggerated with the hype as well. Anything else in the chat? IWM, it was weird today. We tried trading it, the options, like within minutes. I put out options for premium members on IWM. Within like a couple minutes they were up 10%. Then they got demolished intraday, and then right towards the end of the day they came all the way back up to where we entered. It was like really crazy. Not the best streak for me this week on options. The swing trades have been doing pretty fine. You know, pretty average week alongside the market. Nothing like crazy good or crazy bad, just pretty average in terms of the actual weekly sheet. Not as good as the last few weeks, and that's for sure. But it is what it is. You know, very mixed market right now, and I haven't really put out that many new swing trades over the past even 2 weeks, honestly. But we just got finished with a round of a lot of, you know, different trades hitting targets. Looking at the Nasdaq, I was genuinely surprised to see how much it was up today. A lot of tech names had a very good day. I don't know if there was anything technical. It could have just been a reaction, you know, rotation after the Fed announcement yesterday. where small caps just did not have a great day, but a lot of large cap tech stocks did. We did have a bullish engulfing candle on the NASDAQ. It's just still at this point, you know, this 14,200 level on the NASDAQ, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times it has been rejected. Today, I guess it was rejected. You just pull back a little bit, you know, you're barely under it. On the NASDAQ, you are quite literally like 0.34, 0.35% from a new all-time high. If we have a green day tomorrow, that could easily be achieved. And if we ever do break this 14.2K level, that's pretty much a breakout of an ascending triangle, which we've been talking about for a couple weeks now. That would be amazing. But at the same time, it's such a 50-50. Where like this is a make or break area. It's in the thumbnail of the stream. Like the last 5 times we were at this level, we rejected it. You know, how many times will it take to budge above it? We'll have to see tomorrow if we can do it. Looking at the S&P, unfortunately, this is what I've been talking about for probably 2 weeks now. I know I've been talking about it this whole week. The daily classic bearish divergence is confirmed on the S&P 500. Flat day today, but didn't really recover much of the loss from yesterday. From a technical standpoint, I just think that the S&P is short-term bearish. Obviously, it's still long-term bullish. I'm not even questioning the end of the bull market for right now. As long as we're in this broadening wedge, which we have been in since last December, I'm not going to be questioning that the bull market's over or anything like that. But could we get, you know, a pullback like we saw over here, Absolutely. When you have, you know, triple classic bearish divergence on the 4-hour, daily classic bearish divergence, you break demand lines, you have catalysts that drop the price down. It's not the best thing in the world. So I would definitely say I am short-term bearish on the S&P, but it's kind of like the opposite for the NASDAQ, where I want to be bullish on this. I just don't know how it will react alongside the S&P, because there's a lot of similar names in both of those indices. Looking into the small cap index, the Russell, probably the worst performing index today. Let me take a look at the Dow Jones. Yeah, it did underperform the Dow Jones, so pretty much the worst performing, you know, major index today. It was down a lot more. At one point, it was down like over 2% at the lowest, I believe. And somehow it managed to close right at the supply line that it broke out of last week. So that's pretty crazy. MACD did go back to red, but without bearish divergence. You definitely want to get a higher close tomorrow on the Russell compared to what you did today. You know, on the 1-hour, you are showing some classic bullish divergence. You know, I think it looked pretty decent intraday when it was first testing it, but it just couldn't hold it, and then it got a pretty big flush, and then it bounced back up. So pretty interesting movement there. On the VIX, we already looked at it. You're just in between 16 and 20, which is a pretty neutral, but also kind of, I'm going to say, scary zone. It just gave me some anxiety, because last time we were here in the beginning of April, it went all the way back up to 30, and this was the same level that we were at before the COVID crash. So, you know, the last 2 times we were here, we did have a pretty big market pullback, and we're bouncing off this level again. You know, it's a little bit concerning. And then looking at the ARKK ETF, it closed back above the 200-day moving average with a bullish engulfing candle. This also looks pretty good. So we just have a very, very mixed market if you look at the technicals on the major indices and this ETF for growth. Looking at the Dow Jones, still just kind of rolling over. That doesn't look too good to me, like the surrounding top you see over here. If it breaks like, you know, 33.5K, could be headed much, much lower. But again, still in a long-term bull trend. You never know, right? US 10-year yield looks like it had a flat day today, but there is classic bullish divergence almost confirmed. 151 is a support area from 2019 and 2020. It's trying to break above that. And that's pretty much it for the stock market. QQQs did see a new all-time high today, which the NASDAQ itself could not do. And that's that. You know, the futures are bouncing a little bit right now. And we only got 9 likes on the stream. Make sure to hit that like button. I'm going to talk about a lot of hyped up names now. And then after I talk about those names, we'll talk about the ongoing trades. And after that, I'll just do tick requests. Probably going to be a shorter stream. Yeah, you could definitely see in the lower viewer show up tonight what's happening with the market. I mean, we had 3 great weeks. It took about 2 weeks for, like, you know, the viewership to go back up to like 50 concurrent. 2 or 3 bad days, and now we're back down to like 25. It's like, you know, it definitely is tough when you know you're streaming and it depends on how the market is doing. But like, at the same time. And for the people who are here tonight, it's like real traders show up whether the market is up, down, sideways, or backwards. You know, you just show up. That's what you do when you're a trader. Even when you're an investor, you just get through it, right? That's what you got to do. That's, you know, the only way to really make money in this game is to be in for the long run. You know, time in the market is better than timing the market. Of course, if you can time the market, that's always tier favorite, but it's just not, the probability is not really on your side for that. So yeah, we're going to talk about some more interesting names right now. After that, let me just look at the chat. Yeah, join the Discord. Thank you for dropping the link. Neutron Flux Labs. How you doing, Medi? NASCAR All Out says GME went from 183 to 513 and back to 112 on January. Those are some complex technicals. Like I clearly said before, I don't know if you heard me, but I was saying that was definitely exaggerated, but I can definitely show you multiple instances where the technicals did play out, but whatever. Clover, looking at it on high time frames, same story as every single night. There's really nothing to talk about on high time frames. On the daily, there is no divergence. In terms of like a mid to long term swing, it just doesn't look like one for now until you get those higher time frame divergences, which is pretty possible on the 4 hour. You know, hidden bullish divergence, if the MACD starts waning, can be a thing. We go down to the 1 hour, you do have hidden, almost confirmed hidden bullish divergence in this little channel. So like short term, Clover does look really interesting. As long as it can hold above 1180, Clover looks pretty good to me for like a short term move. But in terms of like mid to long term, I'm not sure. You know, what I could see here is, you know, it could go down to 12 and then bounce. It could bounce right at the open tomorrow. I do think that in this area, you can see a bounce. It could probably put in another lower high in this downtrend. And then, you know, we'll see what happens on the larger time frames. But short term, it does look really, really interesting to me, as long as it holds above 1180 in that gap fill. So we'll see what it can do tomorrow. It was up like 1% after hours, and it's kind of in the title. I also tweeted about it. But alongside quadruple witching tomorrow, we have a lot of well-known highly shorted stocks. Everybody's looking at the highly shorted stocks. You know, Clover, UWMC, AMC, GameStop, Geo, CLVS, AI, all of those different names. You know, not only do they have a high short interest, and don't quote me on all of those, I'm just kind of, you know, throwing names off the top of my head, but a lot of those names also have a crazy amount of open interest on call options or even puts expiring tomorrow. So quadruple witching by itself is usually a day where you have a very large amount of open interest on options. But if you remember last week when we were having all those crazy pops and all of these highly shorted names, a lot of people were playing both calls and on the downside puts. And a lot of people are still in those positions if you look at the open interest. So tomorrow we have the scenario where everybody pretty much knows what the highly shorted stocks are. Workhorse as well, I forgot to mention that one. We already know what stocks are being highly shorted, but we also now know that there is a crazy amount of open interest in those options. So it's the scenario where if, and again, the price action has to come in first. I have no way to know what the price action for a lot of those names will be tomorrow. I don't know if they're going to be up or down, but let's say they are up. If you can get a natural, you know, 5 to 10% movement on some of these names, those can be largely exaggerated because you're going to have big money, you know, who maybe aren't hedged in the best way, trying to hedge themselves, and they might have to buy the underlying stocks to kind of cover losses or just manage their risk. And then you can get, you know, a lot of calls which are currently out of the money. If you get a move back up, you can get a lot of calls in the money, which could also turn into calls being exercised. So it leads us to the scenario tomorrow where if, and again, this is only if you have these nice moves on these particular names, they can see more continuation than you would usually see. So that's one thing I'm gonna be watching tomorrow. I'm gonna have all those stocks I just talked about on my watch list. We're gonna look at a good amount of them right now. But again, like, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I don't know if they're actually gonna go up tomorrow, but if they do have a good natural green start to the day, they can see exaggerated moves on top of that because of the open interest in options alongside the already high short interest on those stocks. So hopefully you get what I'm saying. It's just a very interesting scenario leading up to what already is a very typically weird day, which is quadruple witching. So yeah, that you know, that's really Clover. I could pull up a bunch of the other names that I just mentioned. We can look at UWMC, AMC, GameStop, BlackBerry, Workhorse, AI, Geo, CLVS. We'll just take a look at those. After we look at these stocks, we can talk about the ongoing trades, and then after we do that, I'll do ticker requests. But yeah, make sure to hit that like button. Now we got 41 people in here. That's definitely better. Make sure to hit that like button. Let me read the chat again. Neutron Flux Lab says, you'll never know how to play both bear and bull markets if you're not a participant constantly, absolutely, or consistently. Yup. D says, now is the time to be in the stream so you can catch the bounce. Don't really understand why people only come when the market is bullish, but they're lost. It's crazy. It really is wild where, you know, after the good moves happen, that's when the viewership is up and things are going so great. But it's like, and I say this time again, you know, capitulation brings opportunity. When you have the red days and the pullbacks, that brings you opportunity. But most people are too busy, you know, being sad and upset about their, you know, short-term losses, that they don't want to kind of look at opportunity. They kind of get blinded by opportunity. And this is not just for my stream viewership, it's just for traders in general. Where it's like, when things are the worst, that's when I really am hyped up to stream, because that's when we can find the best setups. But that's usually when people don't want to care. And then after the great setups already happen, that's when everybody wants to care, and then things go back down because they just ran. So it's like this weird scenario, but that's really the psychology of retail traders, you know. We can look at UTME as well. Which are your 3 best long-term holds to enter now? I'm not a financial advisor. Off the top of my head, Fisker, Apple. Fisker, Apple. What's a good third? I wouldn't want something in tech or EV, because I just named a tech and an EV. I like X. I like United States Steel. That could potentially be a third, but it might not be the best entry right now. For a third pick, it's a good one. I think UWMC is still at a pretty decent long-term price. I'd probably say Fisker, Apple, UWMC, but I have a very, very long-term outlook on UWMC and Fisker. That would probably be my top 3 picks off the top of my head. I even like Rocket as well at its current price for long-term. Anything else? Beyond as well. I like Tesla here as well. Yeah, those names are probably my best long-term picks. Not financial advice. I haven't even looked at the charts as of today. I'm just saying that, like, you know, some of my favorite companies. You go to college and pay tuition. How you expect to make more than someone with the degree without putting in the time to study and make money and learn? Only mistake if you don't learn along the journey. I really like that quote. It's only mistake if you don't learn. We're gonna look at Geo in a second here. NASCAR all out. You control as much as you want, but I've, you know, showed multiple instances, and I'm about to show them again, so it's whatever. What else we got in here? Mr. J Long, very excited for tomorrow. Geo was up 14.5% after hours. Wow. We're gonna look at Fisker in a second as well. I'm gonna look at a bunch of different stocks. We're not doing ticker requests just yet, so don't request tickers for now. We're gonna do them in like probably 25 minutes or so. I still have a lot that I want to go over. I'm just reading the chat for right now. So all the ticker requests for right now, I'm not going to be looking at the charts. Remember, for the people that are newer to the streams and you just don't know, you know, the time to request tickers is like when I literally say, all right, we're going to do ticker requests now, which is usually towards not the end of the stream, but like the middle of the stream. We're still like in the beginning of the stream where I'm just going to cover a bunch of things I want to talk about. Unless you guys are all just giving your personal long-term recommendations. I don't know if you're typing those tickers to answer that long-term question or if you just want me to look at them, but yeah. So let's just look at these stocks right here. First one is UWMC, continues to hold above the 200-day moving average. Still under that 990 level, which used to be support when it was a SPAC, but it's out of this trend line. It's pretty much broken out of, and honestly, you could call this a descending broadening wedge because you had 1-2 touches on the supply line, 2 touches over here, and then, you know, this was kind of your breakout. So I think this is already breaking out. I mean, it's clearly out of its downtrend. It's already making higher highs and higher lows. It's already you know, gone back up to a golden retrace almost. So it's definitely shifted its trend. This one is another one, you know, I don't know the official short interest on a lot of these stocks, but reports of this being between 20 to 30% I have seen. Next one is AMC. We had a great trade on this for premium members. I alerted it last Friday at $43. The targets were 54 and 58. Both of those targets hit literally on Monday, so the day after. At this point on AMC, you know, it's crazy. Fundamentally, do I think it's worth $61? No. But do the fundamentals mattered on AMC this whole year? No. At the same time, on the 4-hour, it does have hidden bullish divergence, and this does kind of look like a inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So if it breaks all-time highs again, then you could just use Fibonacci to make your next targets. The 1272 would be around $76. We'll see what happens. We'll see if this plays out. Just it's gone crazy for sure. GameStop also showing hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour, consolidating around 220. It did fill the gap from May 25th. If it can hold above, honestly, if it can hold above 210, which is kind of where it really found support, you know, eventually there's a gap fill up to 296, but it depends on how long the hype lasts. Honestly, I wouldn't call this a cup and handle because it broke a 50% retrace on the handle. Pretty much came down to the 618. And, you know, just to reiterate on what I was saying earlier with GameStop, you know, before it even went crazy, it was literally an accumulation phase. Same thing for AMC. Both of them were in Wyckoff accumulation before everything happened on Wall Street Bets. Mitch Ray was looking, I was not looking at these. I'm not going to say I was before they went crazy, but Mitch Ray was looking at them on his stream before they went insane. He was looking at Nokia. He was looking at all the names. It was actually insane. But they were in these Wyckoff accumulation ranges. This is an actual Wyckoff accumulation range. You have a spring over here. You had an upthrust. This was pretty much your phase B. You had a backup as well. This is like literally perfect Wyckoff accumulation. And that's where it all started on GameStop. Same thing for AMC. Those are technicals. And I'm talking about GameStop under $7, right? Same thing for AMC. $2 was its level, you know? So you have major accumulation. And then after they went crazy the first time, they came pretty much all the way back down to 786, 886 retraces, and they started showing hidden bullish divergence right over here in the middle of February. You could go on my channel, you can go back to the middle of February, look at the streams. I was saying out AMC looked bullish over here with the hidden bullish divergence on the daily and on the 4-hour right over here. So again, technicals played out there. Then you had a symmetrical triangle, which I also brought up on stream before it broke out. That obviously was pretty much what led eventually to this current run it's been on. Same thing with GameStop. You know, not only did I talk about this on stream, this was also an option play for premium members. It broke out of the same exact symmetrical triangle at the end of May. It back tested the breakout and had a cup and handle. I alerted it right over here for options. The options ran up 1000% towards the expiration. It was beautiful, cup and handle, hidden bullish divergence on the 1-hour. I was in this personally. So there are your technicals on GameStop and AMC at much lower prices. But of course, like, did they go to textbook targets? No, they exceeded textbook targets, which is why I said earlier in the stream, of course, they were exaggerated moves because of the hype, because of the squeezes, because of all that. But technicals did start the initial run. Technicals also did start that for the second run off of the dip, you know, in the middle of February, which I did talk about on stream, and the recent run from May to now, as you just saw, which I literally alerted. So you said it's not trolling to suggest some stocks price action. Makes absolutely no sense unless you realize it's in the middle of a pump and dump. You know, that's why I also don't analyze a lot of stocks that get requested, because I can't really see any technicals on them. But, you know, what I've said time and time again is that there are a lot of technicals on GameStop and AMC that do play out. Most of the ones I've seen this whole entire year have played out. So I wouldn't just say that randomly if I couldn't back it up, which is just what I'm kind of showing right now. You know, moving on to BlackBerry. I traded this a little bit today, made some money off of it. You know, it was up 5%. I think it went up like another couple of percent after hours. It actually broke out of this falling wedge with classic bullish divergence on the 1-hour. I got in BlackBerry at like 12.90 today. Like, it was my first trade of the day. It was already on my watch list going into today. Did take profits a little bit early. I took profits around like 13.40. It was pretty much like a scalp trade. It wasn't that big, but yeah, you know, looking at BlackBerry, if it can get back above this really $14 level, which is what it was testing after hours, which, you know, that was the support pretty much this whole entire month until it broke it this week. If it can just reclaim back above that, you know, it could see a common retrace, or since it is a crazier name, it could go much higher than a common retrace. You know, that's another one we can look at. I'm just going to kind of skim through these really quickly. Workhorse, it needs to get back above $15. That's like the more major level on this stock. That was the low from the end of October. AI as well. It's kind of trying to hold on to this 59 level, which has been support multiple times. Geo apparently went up 14% after hours. Again, for Geo, this is another scenario. 15% after hours. Yep. So what did it go up to after hours? Sorry, I literally just looked at it. I went up to 825. So crazy move as well. Could fill the gap at 859. But there's also a 200-day moving average that is right above where it closed after hours. Same thing with Geo, another technical one that just eventually turned into a Wall Street Bet stock. You know, this one, a week before it went up to $11 at $6. I can go back to the stream. It's still published on my channel at $6. I talked about this on stream. I showed the weekly bullish crab, the classic bullish divergence on the daily, the monthly, the 4-hour, and the 1-hour. And literally the week after it goes to 11. So again, another technical scenario coincidentally playing out. Like, it's just crazy how I'm not even saying like they're moving because of technicals. I'm just saying it's a cool coincidence how technicals are bullish before these crazy moves. Again, that's the point I'm making. And you can still use technicals to target, because if you go back to that same stream I talked about Geo at $6 literally 2 weeks ago, it was right over here in the beginning of the month. You go back to that same stream, I literally showed you a way to trade it, and it hit the exact second target that I showed. I could probably pull it up really quickly too. And I hate trying to be like, you know, trying to prove myself and stuff. I'm just trying to give an explanation as to how you should be using technicals. I'm not trying to like, you know, prove things or whatever. I'm not here to do that. I'm just trying to say like, they might not be the reason that stocks move up or down, but they give you the ability to manage risk, buy at the best prices, sell at the best prices, etc. CLVS, another one. This was a trade alert for premium members. This one also. Right over here, another instance, it was alerted at 5:44. Boom. First, actually, both targets hit perfectly. Like, this is technical analysis, right? I alerted this at 5:44. My second target was at this area. It went literally to the second target, and that's where it reversed. That's what I mean by using technicals and learning technicals. Did this have a high short interest? Did this gap up with a lot of other Wall Street Bet stocks? Yes, I'm admitting that. But look at how perfectly the entry and the take profit was on this one for a trade, right? Entered at the perfect point right before it went up crazy, literally like a week before, and then take profit at the perfect level before it reversed back to the downside. That's why I try to kind of teach technical analysis, because otherwise, even if you knew that it was having a high short interest and you knew that Wall Street Bets was on it, maybe you would have bought it after it went up. Maybe you would have never taken profits. Like, all those little things, that's what you want to learn technical analysis for. So that's just really what I'm kind of trying to talk about. We already did look at Clover, which actually is another one where I did alert Clover at $7 all the way down here with a bullish crab, right? This is a bullish crab pattern, right? Like this. It's on my TradingView page if you want to take a look at it. You know, hit the 1618, accumulated for a few months, went insane, crushed all the targets, again, because it was exaggerated. So hopefully you get the point there. UTME you wanted to look at, very funny looking chart. You know, crazy move up around its IPO, consolidation for a few weeks, and then crazy move down. I don't know what happened on this one. Definitely wild mover. This was up 8% after hours, went back up to 1748. I mean, this one's like, this is really all you can do here. You know, just chart the different levels. But like, we could probably call this like an H pattern because it just looks like the letter H. I don't But yeah, those were just some other things I wanted to cover. Now we're just going to go over the ongoing trades. After we do that, then I'll do ticker requests. ALLO, it's back to the entry. It fell under it a little bit today, but it did close above the ice line. So you just want to continue to close above 2460, and hopefully this thing can start going. PSTH did bounce today. You want to reclaim 2341. Classic bullish divergence is still developing. LVS flat today, not doing so hot, trades down a few percent. It's a tight stop loss either way. HUYA, we'll see if we can get to that second target. It's currently up 13% since the entry. And then Fisker, it already hit both targets of the trade a couple weeks ago. But last night on stream, I did talk about this bull flag with 1 hour hidden bullish divergence. Had a good day today. You know, the low time for technicals did play out. I believe they also had some sort of PR on CNBC during the day. And yeah, that's that. Futures still up, but not that much. Bitcoin 37.6K. And that's the recap of today. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm just going to read the chat for a few minutes. We're not doing ticker requests just yet, but we're going to do it in a few minutes. NASCAR says it was a 100% push in a day on CLOV. Technicals don't predict that type of move. Again, I don't think you understand what what I've said 10 different times. This is the last time I'm gonna really say it, but like again, never said the technicals called the 100% move. But what I am saying is you can use technicals alongside the moves to help you place your buy and sell orders, manage your risk, find the better profit taking areas. And if you really want me to show you exactly what I mean, like I can do a whole entire breakdown on Clover again. But at this point, it's like, I don't care that much to, I think the other 34 people get what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to be mean to you. I'm just trying to explain the point to you very, very simply. Both of these daily highs were alerted on my Twitter. I can show you those tweets as well. I just used Fibonacci on Clover to get those highs. The second one was pretty much, actually, literally the all-time high on Clover was literally talked about to the cent the night before it happened. So we can also bring that up. The stream I did on the night before Clover's all-time highs, I showed the fib levels, and it quite literally went to the exact cent, and that's where Clover reversed, and it's never seen that price since. So if you want me to bring that up, just let me know in the chat and I can bring it up, but I really don't think I need to. And then same thing like we were talking about earlier down over here, the technicals did actually indicate a big move when we had the bullish crab that again was talked about weeks before it happened, right? So it's just like, at what point, it's pretty simple. It's not that complicated. I'm not saying technicals are like, I don't know if you get what I'm saying. All I'm saying is they help you find how much something can move, but they might not explain to you exactly when it's going to move or how much, to the point where like, if you have a crazy short interest in Wall Street bets, like of course you can't anticipate that before it happens. So that's really it, and there you go. Right over here, March 4th, the entries were 705 and 635. Now, when this was a $7 stock, did I think it was going to go to 28 in one move? No, I didn't. But what was the target? 13 bucks. That's an 86% move. So you're saying technicals can't predict a 100% move? Well, if you use the textbook technicals for a bullish crab, which I didn't even use on these trades, if you would have targeted the A and the C points, which is how you're supposed to target a bullish crab, it was well over a 100% move, and that was talked about down to $7. So that actually is incorrect. When you said technicals don't predict that type of move, this pattern quite literally did, and it played out without ever getting stopped out or dropping below that price point. So that's that. And again, same thing for the highs. Not only was I able to see those lows over here on Clover, same thing for the highs, just using Fibonacci. I'm really, really tired of just going back and forth. I never do this on stream. I don't know why I'm doing it tonight, so I'm just gonna stop. I'm sorry. And that's that for Clover. Let me take a look at the chat again. Let me read the chat for a little bit, and then we'll do take requests in a second here. I missed a lot of the chat. Sorry about that. when did you first start trading, and then when did you first start using Twitter and YouTube for a presence? I started trading on my birthday, May 6th last year, but I started charting like 9 months before I even was able to trade. So before I was able to trade for like 9 months, I was just charting things like just for fun, because I was super interested. It really started with Bitcoin. I was really interested in seeing where Bitcoin could be headed next. So I ended up learning technicals through Mitch Ray and a bunch of other resources. For like 9 months, I was just charting for fun. And the day I turned 18, started trading myself. So pretty much from like May to October, it was just me trading myself. I'm talking about May to October of last year, it was just me trading myself. And then pretty much October of last year is when I started putting out tweets, and then started streaming very shortly after. What else we got here? Prince says, I watched live on stream when you called Jamie under 10. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. The ascending triangle. Oh my gosh, you just reminded me about that. Yeah, it was. Let's see if we can find it. Completely forgot about that. And again, did I say when GME was $10 it was going to go, you know, up to 400? No, of course. I didn't. There's no way for me to know that. But I was bullish on it there, you know. It was right around over here. This was it, I believe. This was it. The higher lows, the sell wall. It broke it. It back tested it, and then it ran all the way back in like November, December. Wow, Print, you're really a day one for remembering that. I did not even remember this. I talked about it for like 2 or 3 days on stream. Thanks for bringing that up. What's your #1 piece of advice for a newbie trader? The more time you spend learning how to trade correctly, the easier it will be. But not easy in a, oh my gosh, I'm making crazy money every day. Easy in a sense of the way you trade will be very systematic, and you're not going to be stressing so much. You're going to have your red days here and there, but you're going to be able to develop a system if you spend a lot of time learning it the right way. And when you have that system in place, you stop worrying so much about, you know, constant wins and, you know, losses, and it just kind of comes. It just appears. So if you just focus on learning something new every single day, improving your skill set as a trader every single day, the wins, they just come, and the losses, they minimize. So it's all about trying to one-up yourself every single day and learning something new every day, testing out strategies every day, getting experience with it, stuff like that. Yeah, we're gonna take requests in like 2 minutes. I just want to finish answering the questions. I think we could just do it right now. I think I covered most of the stuff in the chat. So yeah, we'll do ticker requests now. Sorry for everybody who's already put in tickers into the chat, but I always like to kind of, you know, start out from one place, which is like right now. So just for the newer people in the stream, you know, don't drop tickers in the chat until I say like we're doing ticker requests, just so I can kind of read it easily. Otherwise I have to scroll all the way up between messages and tickers, and it just gets really confusing. So if you put a ticker already, just type in the ticker again. I'm just going to start with the Ray's message, INTC and IBM. That's what I'm going to start with. We already did look at Fisker. I'm not too sure about Fisker in the short term. A great trade just played out. I still love Fisker for the long term, but I could see it going either way in the next month or so. I don't really see any high time frame bullish or bearish technicals. It's just kind of neutral to me at this current price after its crazy run. ROST, I was looking at ROST earlier today. Never put out a trade. It was kind of looking a little bit weird. It was like under the support. I think it actually closed above it. We'll take a look at it. Still on the watch list. SOFI. Thank you for the 32 likes. Appreciate it. Wish I did forget to go over that one when I was going over the others. YO. Is it Sugar Futures? Let me know what the company or actual name of YO that you want me to look at is. All right. We also did go over PSTH when I was doing the ongoing trades. You just want to get back above 23.50, but hopefully that classic bullish divergence allows you to do so. Where can I learn technical analysis? I'm a newbie here, thanks. You can learn it right here by watching the stream every single night. That's how I learned, just watching another technical analyst stream named Mitch Ray. Otherwise, you can join the Discord. You can go to the full course on my channel. If you just go to my channel, go to playlists, there is a full course with about, I think, 10 or 11 videos from literally beginner to advanced in learning technicals. So the best place is in the course on my channel. Also, if you go to the website, I'll show it to you in a second here. Let me just drop all these tickers in and I'll show you the best places to learn. Oh, you're just saying hi. What's up, Ian? I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Oh wait, did I put an LCI? No. Oh, what's up, Miss Grizz? How you doing? Technicals versus fundamentals are the two major schools for trading. A blend of both will further help to catch explosive moves. Absolutely, say it all the time. The best combination is when you have both technicals and fundamentals lining up. That leads to the best trades. Fisker, QS, you know, two of my best trades were both fundamental and technical plays. Dogecoin, I paper-handed Dogecoin. I'll talk about it when we get to the chart. Feeling better? Yeah, I'm definitely feeling a lot better today. I was just really off yesterday. We did look at AMC. I'll look at it again. And then, yeah, just to answer the question from earlier about the best place to learn, let me pull up some resources for you. And it's going to take me like 1 second to show this, and then we can just, where is it? Okay. So the first place is in the Discord, okay? For anybody who wants to learn about trading, join the Discord, and you'll pretty much enter something that looks like this. Where there's just so much in here. There's a full education tab in the Discord itself, where I've handpicked a bunch of links with all the technicals that I talk about, and just psychology and a bunch of different things. You can find trade alerts like right over here. Anybody can view these, right? So join the Discord. The link's in the description. Also, let me pull up some other resources that you can use to learn trading. How do I do this? All right, let's just do it like that. Should I just like, let me see if I can do it this way. All right, perfect. If you go to my channel and if you go to playlists, there's a full trading course on my channel. 12 videos are in the course. Most of them are about like 10 minutes long, but there's also a 1-hour video on options, swing trading, harmonics, risk management, setting up trading view, divergence, Fibonacci, psychology, patterns, candlesticks, support. Whole entire course is on my channel. And then also, if you want some books to read, go to the website, Free Trading Movement. The link's in the description. Go to the education tab. And then these are the books I recommend reading. And also, if you want to follow other people who I also recommend to learn, it's there as well. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's get into the ticker requests now. Let's start off with Intel. I think I actually have to add a bunch more. I'm sorry for everybody waiting on the take request. I just had to answer a few things. Dean says, your Discord helpful. AF, thank you for saying that. Alright, I'm just going to stop right there and we're just going to get to this first round of tickers. So Intel, I was in Intel calls. I got in earlier this week. I broke even on them. The reason that I broke even on them and I'm not currently holding, even though I did have a longer term outlook, they were like 1 month out calls. It's because it's now developing hidden bearish divergence on the daily, and then also it's confirmed classic bearish divergence on the 4 hour. So when you have bearish divergence on both time frames that I use, that's not something I personally want to own for the short term. So I'm just waiting for these bearish oscillators to finish playing out, which they're currently playing out. After they're done playing out, I definitely, as long as it can hold above 56, I might re-enter Intel calls for like, you know, further out, you know, 1 or 2 months out. But 56 is the important level historically that it definitely wants to hold. Okay. Next one is, IBM. Looks like it broke out of the symmetrical triangle with hidden bullish divergence, had a nice run. And maybe it's just coming for the back test. Not too sure now. You know, I think this was like the more tradable area at this point. I don't really know. I mean, if I clear up the chart, it's just really, I don't really see a pattern or any divergence for right now. So I'm not too sure for the short term. RCON, not something I could really chart just because of how dramatic the recent sell-off was on high time frames. If we go down to lower time frames, starting to put in like a downsloping channel. It's testing the breakout. You definitely want to get above like 432. Maybe that could be a good place to start. There is a gap fill up to like 495-ish. ROST, we looked at it last night. Really did like the chart. I was going to put out a trade on it today, but I had a very, very rough like morning. So I never put out the trade. Thankfully I didn't, because it would have been stopped out on the same exact day within like in an hour. So I was just watching at the support. It did end up holding the support at the close again, but I think maybe I'm gonna have to put in like a looser stop loss because it has had a couple scam wicks under the support. So I still think the technicals are still looking good. Hidden bullish divergence on the daily, classic bullish divergence on the 4 hour, still holding the support, which is right at the PCZ of the bullish bat. Technicals still look good. It's just being a little bit weird alongside the market. So I'm just trying to, you know, find the better way to put out a trade on it with a better stop loss. I'll probably look at it tomorrow, see how it's holding the support. DPW. I think like the $2.50 area, you know, between 250 and 260 is the next area of like support. It's very, very choppy. But you could see that it was a resistance in 2019, even with support on March 5th. So I don't really see much of a pattern. It probably did, yeah, it broke a demand line as well. So, you know, it had classic bearish divergence developing. That's currently playing out. Made a higher high in price with a lower high in the MACD. I think that the 250s are the next area that I would be looking at it and seeing what it does there. SOFI, assuming it gets there. SOFI is still just within this symmetrical triangle between the $20 support and the $25 resistance. Still very neutral to me. But now, you know, on the daily, hidden bullish divergence is possible if the MACD goes back over to green. That could give it a slightly higher increased probability of breaking this to the upside. If it ever gets above 25, then who knows how high it could go, because there's just not a lot of data on the chart. I do like SOFI fundamentally. Just right now, it's just in like a little bit of a consolidation phase. Fuel cell. I don't like how it fell back under the 200-day moving average. I would like to see it reclaim back above $11. Until then, your next support is $6.53, which is obviously way, way under you. I don't think you're going to get there like super quick. It's possible eventually. So you could probably just use like Fibonacci for the next supports. It's pretty much at the 618. So that's like 876. That's really it for this one. You know, it had a nice move off the PCZ of a bullish Gartley. Had a pretty good run. I mean, it went up only 94%, nothing crazy. And now it's pulling back. So we'll see what happens with this one. CCIV, got to get back above 24.14. That's the important level. It was used as resistance again today. It got a little bit higher, but it closed under it. You got to close the daily candles above that level. That's what's really, really important on this chart, in my opinion. AHT, it's just in this little, you know, historical area between 530 and 590. It's holding it for right now. Hidden bullish divergence is eventually possible on the 4 hour, but you need your MACD to start waning. So that's what you're looking for there. On Wish, it was up a little bit today. Don't know what happened after hours, but it looks like it's breaking out of this downsloping channel, and it's closed above 1109. So that's actually a pretty good day for Wish today. I actually like what it's doing here. Even on the daily, look, you can see it's making these higher lows. You have like little trend lines starting to appear. So I do like what Wish is doing. If you can just continue closing above 1109, who knows? You know, there's not a lot of data on the chart. Not many resistances. Like there's really low resistance between $12 and $15, but you're not there yet, so we'll see. Ethereum probably depends on Bitcoin. It's probably just in a triangle right now. I don't even know if that's the best way to look at it. Maybe something like this. Yeah, I'd probably just say it's just consolidating right now. I would like to see us eventually get back above 2,900, which would be a trade in itself. So it's not even close to that. It's just trying to hold on to the lows from last week, which probably just depends on Bitcoin holding like 35K approximately. BLDP. Sorry, I'm not reading the chat. I'm just trying to run through all of these tickers so I can read the chat and put in more tickers. 1378 is your major level. You're obviously miles above that. There is hidden bearish divergence developing on the daily right now. So if the MACD goes over to red, take caution. Looks like your short-term support is about 1684, which actually was a resistance in November of last year and August of last year. You've been holding that pretty much this whole month. So you want to continue to close above 17. Decent day today. LCI. This was never a trade, but it looks like I charted it. Got to get, actually you are above 495, so you just got to hold above 495 on this one. Don't see any divergence on the daily or the 4 hour, but it is starting to pivot. Looks like it came down to about a golden retrace. Got a little bit under the 618, but definitely, you know, consolidated at the 618 and then started bouncing. Microsoft, near all-time highs. I've been saying it every single night. Still bullish above 245 in this upsloping channel. I'm not sure what will take place between the, you know, supply line and demand line, but as long as it's above 245, it's fine to me. Gap is filled. Next resistance is just the previous all-time high around 262, 263. MicroStrategy, in the middle of a support and a resistance. Whichever way it breaks will probably be telling. Support is 563, resistance is 676. QS, now you have hidden bearish divergence developing on the daily. This was a break-even trade, but it was 3% away from the first target, which definitely frustrated me. It was up like 25% or something. I did make profit off of it with options, but I just wish it got 3% higher, so it could have been a 28% trade. You know, at this point, I'd say you just want to continue to hold above 24 to 25 bucks, which you have. You actually back tested it. So you're just hoping to actually hold above 26 and then kind of cancel out that hidden bearish divergence developing. LTHM, you just want to stay above that demand line. That's literally it for this chart. There's no other pattern or divergence for right now. PSFE, I'd probably use this as my B point. Kind of like a bullish bat if you anchor your B point on that swing low. If you go for the deeper anchor point, which would be like right over here, then it's just kind of in between, you know, the 618 and 786, which makes it a little bit unclear. Regardless of that though, you do have hidden bearish divergence almost confirmed on the daily, so take caution with that if it does confirm, which would imply a continuation of the downtrend. If it ever does break this supply line, it could easily see 13 to 14 bucks. There's even a gap fill to 1325. And then over here, it could also, like if you zoom into the 4 hour, it's just kind of like, it's just messing around. I don't know. On the 4 hour, it came down to a, again, I hate when like the B points are between a 618 and a 786, because it could either be like a harmonic with a 618 retrace, or it could be a 786 butterfly. It's just kind of like messy. And then that was kind of like a double top, so it's too perfect of the highs to be like a real one. I like the low time frame higher lows that it's making, but eventually, you know, I'm not too sure how low it will go until it breaks this supply line. That's what's the most important thing on this chart to me, getting over that downtrend or downtrending trend line. And if you do that, then probably you could, obviously you have the gap fill and the resistances, but you could just use Fibonacci, target the 618 all the way up at 15. But it all depends on holding 10 bucks. I don't know if this was a SPAC, but looks like it found, you know, support around 10 back in November, and then it even back tested that in May and bounced off of it. So yeah, that's PSFE. Dogecoin, let me use a different exchange to look at it. Let's use this one. Come on. There's a bit of feedback on your mic. Is it still bad? Am I good? Am I like freezing up? I think I'm good. Sorry. Let me know if the mic still is being weird. I haven't looked at the chat in like 5 minutes, so apologies for that. Dogecoin, it broke under this demand line, which is, I had Dogecoin yesterday, but I got out today for like a 2 or 3% loss. I was just playing this little demand line. It broke under it. Now it's pulling back. Next major support is like 28.5 cents. But again, it also depends on Bitcoin. Just look back at AMC. You know, at this point, we were talking about it earlier, you do have hidden bullish divergence developing on the 4 hour. It also does kind of look like an inverse head and shoulders, which is great. You know, inverse head and shoulders right over here. Neckline would probably a little bit scuffed, but I'd probably say something like this. You know, you probably have to get above like 65 bucks. If you do that, I don't see a reason for it to not see another all-time high. And you could just use Fibonacci to target that. You know, your next level would be 8160-ish or 82 bucks with the 1272. Fundamentally, I can't really justify it at $60 just from a valuation standpoint and where it was last summer, you know, trading around like $2. But, you know, for like as an investor, I don't really see the value here. But as a trader, obviously the fundamentals have not mattered this whole entire year. It's when you speak over music. I could probably just put my music down a little bit for the rest of the stream. But like, you know, from a technical standpoint, we just traded AMC last week in the premium group, you know, alerted down at 43 bucks. The targets were 54 and 58. It hit both of those targets. It was a 33% gain in one day. Alerted on Friday, hit the target on Monday. Definitely has gone, you know, another 5% higher. It just depends, you know, if this structure will play out, you have to get above 65. If it doesn't, then your support is that low at around $52. IVR, gotta get back above 414. You know, that was the previous resistance. It kind of flipped into support for a few days, but it broke it, and now it's resistance again. So, you know, I like the long-term chart, the higher lows, the sell walls, it looks good, but the short-term chart, it's like short-term, it's bearish under 414. And it's not too hard to get back above it. It tested above it today, but it closed under. So you got to start closing daily candles back above that. Palantir, it's a premium trade, already hit the first target for a 27% gain. The second target is 2706, which is just like the highs, right under the highs from the beginning of March. At this point on Palantir, anything above 2420 is good. That was your swing high before the drop down to 17. So you just got to hold above 2420. You know, these were the areas where I liked it as an entry because of a falling wedge and a harmonic PCZ. Entry was like 19 bucks. At this price point, you know, it's already up a good amount since then, over 30%. Definitely not the same probability, but I also like it fundamentally. So 2420 is the area you want to hold. It was up today. FUBO broke the demand line, doesn't really seem to care, so I'll just kind of delete that. We go down to the lower time frames, it looks like it is kind of just in this little range between 27 and 31. Whichever way it breaks will probably be telling. Another stock I like fundamentally, hidden bullish divergence is developing on the 4-hour, so that's good. And then NEO, it just hit the second target of a premium trade for a 33% gain. It's continuing to run. There was classic bearish divergence that is not playing out on the 4-hour. Now that it's really above 46, if it can hold above 46, and it feels crazy because this thing has gone straight up since like May 14th. Like there's not much resistance now until 57. You know, it was kind of like straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. So like the next resistance on the daily is 57. It would be crazy if it gets there in the short term before pulling back and then pivoting and making a higher low. I don't see a pattern or any divergence, but if we're just looking at support and resistance, that's the next one. So sorry it took me a while to get through those. Just want to always spend time on each chart, give my best analysis. Thank you for the 38 likes. We need 2 more likes to hit 40 likes. Let me look at the chat again. Okay. Zara says, I've learned so much from just listening to this for the past few days. It's crazy because not many people in the UK do live streams like this. Oh, great to hear that. And yeah, keep it up, keep learning. You got it, Kobe. Thank you, Miss Grizz. Didn't we already look at RCON? What would your technical analysis of RCON been before the huge down day? There was triple classic bearish divergence on the 4-hour right over here. It made 3 lower highs on the MACD. It made 3 higher highs on price. So there was classic bearish divergence on the 4-hour. It was in a great trend, making higher highs and higher lows. That's really all I really would have said. There's classic bearish divergence on the 4-hour if I would have seen it. But you know, I don't know why this was down 56%, so I can't really speak on it fundamentally at all. Clearly broke that demand line. That's really it. You know, there really wasn't much like bullish or bearish at these areas. It was probably some sort of catalyst that dropped it, and I don't know what that was. It was just really that 4-hour classic bearish divergence. But again, does 4-hour classic bearish divergence imply dropping over 50% in one day? No, it doesn't imply that. So PUBM, Amazon, GEO tweet by Michael Burry. Oh, that's probably why after hours. I had GEO calls. I had GEO calls when it was at $6. Like I got it the day after I talked about it on stream in the beginning of the month, and it had like one weird day, and there was like a little gap that I had to fill, and I just paper handed the calls. Those would have been like 300-400% probably. So definitely regret that a decent amount. Any other tickers? TEX. Oh, what's up, Glenn? Trades, how you doing? Thank you for the 40 likes, everybody. Classic indicates reversal and hidden is continuation. That is correct. Yes. Rafe, I have 10 with the $2 donation. Thank you very much. 23andMe. Is that a stock? What is that? So it is a stock. 23andMe stock. First day of trading on the NASDAQ. So I'm not going to really be able to chart it at all. What's the ticker? ME. So it's probably just going to be one big candle, I'd assume. Or not. It's actually, there is actually data. So was this, oh, it was a SPAC. Okay. So now we could kind of do something. I mean, again, for a company that was a SPAC that just merged, the fundamentals heavily overweight all the technicals. So, I mean, just looking at the chart, I don't see a pattern. I don't see any divergence. It is overbought on the RSI. Obviously 10 bucks is a support because it was a SPAC. You know, there really isn't much here that I can do. All right, so there is a resistance at 1470. It was like a 2 or 3 day resistance from February. There's a gap fill at 1549-ish. And then you have your previous all-time highs around 17, 18 bucks. Those are your resistances. In terms of support, $10, like I said. And you do have 1208. That's probably your closest support. That was your lows in January. It was your low twice in January was your lows. It was where you gapped down to and found resistance in February. And it was actually your daily high, or it was your 4-hour candle high in the first 4-hour candle of today. So 1208 is your support. Next resistance is 1470. It's right in between the two. So, you know, I could see this going either way from a technical standpoint and then from a fundamental standpoint. Unfortunately, I don't really know anything about this, so I can't really speak on that. Thank you again for the 2. Wish I could do more on this one. I hope you understand why that's really all I can do on this one. But thank you again. We already looked at PSTH twice, but and again, if you ever miss a ticker, we're doing timestamps now, so like an hour after the stream ends, you can just come back to the replay of the stream. It's the same link, and then just go to the pinned comment, and there'll be a timestamp of every single ticker that we went over in stream. It'll also be in the scroll bar. But yeah, it's really quick to talk about it. The classic bullish divergence is still developing on the daily, and you want to get back above 2350. That's really it. PUBM, did this thing do anything after hours? Nope. So it's a bullish Gartley. That's literally it. It's a chart, and it just spawned with the bullish Gartley on it. There's so many different SPACs and just like new IPOs that immediately just put a harmonic in like the first like 2 months of trading. Like Fisker did it with the butterfly. I think DoorDash did it. Airbnb did it. And now this did it. Like so many stocks, they just make harmonics right off the gate, which is so cool. And a lot of them have played out. Fisker obviously did play out. PUBM, all you want to do is hold last week's lows. That's really it. You know, 27 bucks. You're obviously well above that, so it's not the easiest way to manage your risk. If we zoom into the 4-hour, you are finding a support around 32.41, so you probably want to hold that in the short term. And then in terms of resistance, I mean, there really isn't much. I'd say 43 bucks is the next resistance. It was a low from March 30th. It was a low from March 8th. It was a low from February 11th. That's really it for that one. Amazon, talked about it right over here with the breakout. It's been going straight up ever since. I don't know why my music's messing up. But yeah, Amazon, I don't see a reason for it to not go up to 35.49 unless the NASDAQ. It's kind of like the NASDAQ. You know, it's right at that make or break area. I think it could test it, but also if like the NASDAQ dumps tomorrow, then you never know. I'm still bullish on Amazon long term. There's obviously multiple years for you to get in at a lower price in terms of like an investment. In terms of a trade, also there was a better time to get in, which was last week when it was breaking out of this double bottom with hidden bullish divergence over the 200-day moving average with the bullish pin bar. You know, I was looking at this last week. I didn't pull the trigger on it, but you know, a lot of people have been, you know, bullish on Amazon ever since they saw this on the chart. I've been seeing it all over social media. So 35.49 is the next resistance. Support is 34.39. So that was your previous high in February. It was resistance in April. That's Amazon. And then TEX. Something happened to us after hours. No, it was flat after hours. Your support's like, I guess today's low is a support. You don't want to break under today's low tomorrow, but you did have a candle low on March 25th at 41.93, which maybe it tried to hold it. I don't know. This thing was down 7% today. It's been going straight down for pretty much the whole entire month. Hidden bullish divergence is no longer possible. It is now oversold on the RSI. The last time it was oversold on the RSI, it had a crazy run after. Pretty much the last time this was oversold on the daily RSI was the COVID crash. So this is the first time since the COVID crash where it is oversold on the daily RSI. Historically, every time it has been oversold, it has seen a bounce shortly after, like most stocks. So I don't know when it's gonna bounce. What just happened to my chart? What? Why did it? I don't know what just happened to this chart, but sorry. That's really it to talk about on that one regardless. Is that? All right, we're good. What else we got in the chat? Yeah, we did do Amazon. Double bottom at the PCZ would be ideal for PUBM, absolutely. All right, this will be the final round for tonight. Thank you for the 41 likes. Keep hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button, join the Discord, the link's in the description. All right, CTXR is the final ticker of the night. CBLI was up 18% after hours. Very gappy 4 hour. I can't really chart that. No divergence on the daily. So down at 356, that would be the PCZ of pretty much a bullish butterfly from B to D to 1618. That would also be a back test of 356. I have no indication that it's going to go down to the PCZ, but that would be like how I would like to trade it if it eventually did. I don't know, again, like there's no way for me to know if it's going to go there eventually. Assuming it doesn't go there and just looking at the short-term price action, still really tough. I mean, $7 is resistance. There's a downsloping support, another resistance at 579. That's really all I could do here, you know. PHUN. This was up a couple percent after hours. You just want to hold above the 200-day moving average. There is hidden bearish divergence on the daily, confirmed. So you just got to hope that that underperforms, and you want it to stay above 135, which would also be above your 200-day moving average. CLNE. This was up 2.5% after hours. Anything above 990, in my opinion, is still bullish. That's the important level. It broke a supply line. Back testing a little bit. Anything above 990 is still bullish, in my opinion. CTXR, not much I can do on this chart. You know, I need something that's consistent. This one's just kind of going straight up, which is great if you're in it. But there's not much I can do from a technical standpoint. I mean, your support on the daily is 314, your resistance is 460. You're in between them. Futures bounced up a little bit more. NASDAQ futures up 0.26%, S&P futures up 0.14%. So decent bounce there. Bitcoin continuing to fall, 37.2K, nearly at session lows. And yeah, I think that that's going to be the final stream of the week. Thank you for all the support tonight. Thank you for the 41 likes. Thank you for the tip, Ray510. Hope you all have a great weekend. Hope you all have a good quadruple witching tomorrow in the market. And yeah, I'll be live again at 9 p.m. EST on Sunday night. So I'll see you all there. Join the Discord. Until then, I'll be talking in the Discord. Links in the description. And yeah, peace out.